Hey guys, so I'll be talking about how to start, how to just, my journey in Florida, like since when I started and everything I've been doing and everything you should do when you start creating Florida application. This is not like some kind of big application, just a normal and regular application. So if you're a starter, I advise you to go into some kind of YouTube pages like Free Code Camp YouTube page and all those pages. Just there's a guy. I mean, Net Ninja. I also learn a lot from his channel, so you should just check out all those channel and and just apply it to your real life application. So this app I learned it on for Free Code Camp, and it has been amazing for now. Although I implemented some things I didn't learn it too. So for the screen, like this register screen, you can see there's a lot of codes. Even though I shouldn't write it like this code, let me bring the code. Let me show the code now. Let me make the code. You can see. So I created a lot of things. The text editing controller get text from the user. So I named it email. So you all know what final means. Final means when you are declaring a final value, like not changing value. And late just means when you are using when you are using a value later and not now. Like it makes sense when you are not putting a value into a name or something, but you want to use it later, so you can use late as the name implies. You understand? So this name, I created a void in its state. So email, text editing controller, password, text editing controller. So that's it. And I disposed the email also, you understand? The init state also. No, then I created a scaffold. Scaffold is just like a popular thing that everybody using for Flutter. So in the scaffold, you have the app bar. The application bar means the top of the app, like you understand. Background color, I gave it the color. Title, I gave it a title, and it is register. And I make this title center by using the center title and applying through. So the body should be I used feature builder since we are going to use some kind of feature inside this. So we use the feature builder, and I use this feature builder simply because of this feature here, not because of anything. Because we are going to call the Firebase initializer, and this initializer just look like this because we have created some auth service here. So we have the Firebase auth here. So can see this is the initializer being initialized there. So this is what we call await firebase.initialize app options default firebase option to current platform. So this means we are going to use extend and await. So when you are using this kind of things, it means it is the feature thing. So using a feature, so here I use the future. So that's why we were calling it inside the so that's why we were calling it inside the register. Oh, sorry. Inside the register now you can see. So we call it directly from that one we already built already. So that's why you see future auth service. So this is the auth. So auth service dot firebase. This firebase run is just like a class that is implementing the auth service. So we can call it directly from the auth service. So auth service dot firebase. Inside the firebase we have the initialize function. So we call the initialize function. So we call the initialize directly from that. So wait, if anyone is just if you were doubting why I'm doing this video, I am making this video just to revise everything I've been doing all these days. I think by doing this, I will be able to recall every actions I've taken inside this code and everything. And definitely you that you're watching it, you're gonna gain something. And me, it will be helping me in my journey. So yeah, so in the builder now, for the feature builder, we have the feature already. So definitely we're gonna have the builder. So just make the builder context and everything. This can be done. This can be done automatically when you call it. So it's not something you should worry about yourself about. So yeah, if you wanna do it directly, you can use that. You can just return directly from this feature we have got. Since we're going to be running some kind of if and else or something like that, so we should use the switch, the switch function. So I use the switch. So the snapshot dot connection state. So the connection state is going to dictate the kind of things we are going to return. So the default will be the loading page. I created a loading page. This loading page will just be like a page that will just be loading uh, some kind of spin. Let me check our created here. So that's it. I just created a scaffold, up bar, center. I just in the body I center a spin a spin kit. So the spin kit is kind of flutter dev plugin or something like that. I don't know, pop or something. So that like the screen fading circle, and I give it a color of white and size of 50. So this thing is gonna spin as long as this is being called at first. So let's go back to register. So I call this spin, and now the default page to load on this builder will be the loading page. So and then if the loading page is done, it should return a side scroll view. So you can see this is just I just have two things inside this switch. So the two thing is before so that there are some kind of value in this single child school view that may be future or something. If it is not coming very fast, it should load a loading page until I get a single child scroll view. So the single child scroll view is just like a single scroll view on a screen. So and the child will be container. So I make the container, the height, the height will be media query of content, the size, the height. So this child view means it will take the total height of the device. Maybe you are using Android or tablet. So it is going to take the 100% of the device. So the weight will be the media query of also will be the full weight of the device. So decoration, I made it the decoration, the page should be box decoration, and then I made some gradients begin. I think I follow this step from a YouTube channel called Flutter Map. So you can check the YouTube channel Flutter Map. It makes sense a lot. So I'm I think I pretty learn a lot of things from the channel. So the container, no, the container also will be having a child. So I mean the child of the container, a column. So since I will be creating some kind of of, of items tagged upon themselves. If you're having a, a if you're having items in vertical or horizontal, horizontal form, you should use column or row. So we are using column here. I mean cross axis alignment. So I mean we are gonna center the column into the center in a cross axis alignment. I mean that is like the vertical part of it. So the children of the column will be, you know, just to give it a size at the top, you make a size box. The size box is just like make it giving some kind of space before the next item. It doesn't mean anything. So the next item will be image. That is the logo of the application we are creating. So I have an image here already. So I just cut the image. So we have the sized box of height. So after the image, we'll be creating some kind of sized box. Maybe I should just run this on one of my, let me create an emulator. Oh, I don't think you can see the emulator the way I am creating this application. So we're just gonna cancel it and continue with our mouth. I'm sorry, but this is not like Android Studio that we have the emulator inside the Android Studio. So we're just gonna continue like this. So after creating the image, we give it we give it some space, and we name the size was 30. We give it an height of 30. So we create the container after that. Then you can see we have a container, a column inside the container, and a container inside the column. So it makes sense. So this column will be like the one we are given for the box to register. So this is a height of 500, like a fixed height, then a width of 90% of the mobile of the device. I give this 92% because I think some kind of overlapsing or something, like my items going out of the width. So I just give it like 92%. I don't know why I want to create it. So it is going to fit inside that 92%. So I mean, it is pretty okay like that. So decoration, box decoration, color white, border radius. I give it a border radius of 10, circular of 10. So like, and in the container we have a child and the column again. So the column, yeah, will be, so we have a text register here. Start. I give the font size of 35, font weight of bold, and another sized box after that. And that will be given an height of 50. We have another container here, weight of 250, and a child will be text field. So the text field simply means, like, understand, we didn't give it, we didn't say text. So text feed is like a field we expect some input inside. We expect some string of text input. So, and we created the text controller at the first place. So the controller will be email. So you just expect the email, and then we give it an autocorrect of first. So when people are trying to input email, so the keyboard, or the keyboard will be trying correct thing, and the keyboard type should be text input dot email address. This tell the keyboard we expect, and the keyboard should be designed for an email to be input. So that makes sense. And decoration, in the decoration we have the input decoration, label, text, email. So I mean, some people will use int instead of this label or something. So when you use int, when the user is trying to input, the int will disappear, and but when you use the label text, it shows, and when the user is inputting, or when the users are inputting the input, or the string or the email, and that label text will show at the top of what we're trying to ask for, and that makes sense. And we have a suffix icon. I mean, the icon that is going to show as suffix, like after the email. So at the right side, or yeah, at the right side. So the icon should be font awesome. This font awesome is another package you should import. I already imported it. So font awesome icons dot envelope. So it makes sense. Envelope look like the email. So after that, we have another container. So I make it 250, text feed, enable suggestion false, obstruct text false, true, autocorrect false, keyboard type. So okay, the container is with 250. So we are having like a container that will be long. We expect an input, so it should be long, and the width is 250. And that makes sense. The child is a text feed. We expect a text, and enable suggestion first, since it is a password, you shouldn't enable suggestion for password. Obstruct text, true, autocorrect first. This obstruct text means that the text it did like it is explained here. It said whether to hide the text being edited, e.g. for password. When this set to true, or the character in the text field are replaced by obscuring characters, and the text in the field cannot be copied with copy or cut. If the dollar is true, then the text cannot be selected. Default to true cannot be. Now you see now. So when this makes sense, when you're trying to create password, the obscure text makes sense. The autocorrect also should be false. Keyboard type text input dot email address. I mean this is for password. I don't think this is needed, so I'll be removing it. It is not needed. So since we are getting the password, so the controller should go back to password. So we want the password. We already created the password. So the decoration should be input decoration, label text, secure password. So that this is what I want user to see when I want them to input the password. You see, front away some icons dot I slash. So this is like an I slash. So in future, I will be creating some kind of function where this I slash will be able to change like from saying the password to not saying the password, but that will be in future. So since we are just a beginner, we are just trying things out. So I'm just trying to make this video as some kind of revision. And I mean, not a lot of people will see this, and you know, it is fine. So sidebox height, we have another 10 height in the row. So I think I want to create some kind of rule where we have the forgot password at one part, and then the you are not a user. I mean, when a new user, no, I don't think, no, forgot password, then you okay, the forgot password and the you already users. I mean, when a user like someone that's already registered tried to try to come to this register part, so we will have to be directed back to the login. So that makes sense. So this row, so in the row, I make it an end, so it will be in the end to each part. So the children, I made one padding, so I won't be touching the thing. Padding dot all trending child just to detector. So if you don't want to create a button, a text button, elevated button, so you can use the texture generate detector. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like when you're trying to make a text clickable or something, it makes sense. So just to the detector, and the child should be forgot password. I mean, the child should be a text forgot password. I give it some style, text style, colors dot orange dot accent. I made it a deep one, 700. So the padding, the padding, I made another padding. So for the already user, so you know I haven't created this function of forgot password. So this function of forgot password will be coming from Firebase. So I don't have that time yet for now, but definitely you might create this soon. Maybe after this video, I'll try to create it now. So I need a padding. We have a padding. So in the padding we have a gesture detector. So and that one we give it a function. You know, the first one there is no function yet. So this we give a function, and the function should be on tap. So when it's been tapped, so this being tapped, I will just redirect. I mean navigate back to login root. I already created a root called login. So just see my root. I think I created a root. I created some roots somewhere here. I don't know some roots. So this is our root. We have the login root, which photo login. We have the home root. We have the register root. We have a verify email root. This makes sense. You know, when you're trying to run root in that, you must use this kind of pattern. this second pattern, this string type of pattern. So when you create some kind of constant values for it, constant means something that is not gonna change. So this is definitely not changing. So the login root, login. So when you want to call this, you can just call it directly, and this makes a lot of sense. So in the main of that, the roots were defined in the root name of that. So this is my roots. So in the initial route, I will just return the home login route is equal to login. So this make a lot of sense. So you understand. So when the login route is being called, this login file or login dot dat will be run, and when this home route is being called, this home dot dat will be run, and when this verify email route is being called, this verify email view we're gonna register it. So I mean that make a lot of sense. So let's go back here. So since I define it, so I'll just be calling it directly. If in case I didn't define or make some kind of change, this is how it should be called at first. Something like this. You see, it's also works, but if I run this code, it is gonna bring some kind of error because I didn't define it that way. But still, let's leave it back. So when you make errors, you're gonna see those red. When you correct your errors, they are gonna be good away. So the child, after I made a gesture detector, that's the function. This child will be already a user and sign in. That makes a lot of sense. So when they click on that, it is going to redirect them back to the login page. We're going to check the login page soon, so don't worry. So, and that's it. I still have a text button, and this text button is where the where the the what's it called? The uh, action of registering happens. So in the unpressed, so the function will be called first before the child or the correction. So let me first explain the child. The child is a container. I have a lot of alignment, decoration, and all that, and the child is a text, which means register. I mean there's this register. When you click on this register button, so this function here is gonna be around. That is the unpressed button. So in this unpressed button, we make it an async. Async. Async means something is gonna wait or something is gonna be seen, and like we're gonna wait for this service before we run this service. So it makes sense. Or we gonna run this first before we run this. I think that makes sense. So final email is equal to email the text. I mean, so we created an email controller. This is a very important thing. So the first time we created a text controller, and that text controller we call it an email. So we assign that controller to the text feed of our screen. So that here in the button, since our Firebase name, email and password, since we are using the email and password sign-in option with Firebase, so final email is called to email the text. Like we are changing that email to text, and a password is called to password dot text. To understand what I mean, the password dot, you can see the text. Since it is the controller, we can change it up to text. So it makes sense. So now, for there gonna be errors or something like that. So I mean, so the best way to use the to to monitor and maybe run your codes with errors, regardless of errors, is trying to try and catch. So the try and catch made a lot of sense to me. Later on, I don't like it at first glance because I don't understand it very easily. But since I understand it very well now, so the try will take your code. I mean, what you want to run. And with the catch means when there is some kind of error, return this to me or let me know this. So we are just running some kind of email in use alt extension. I already create this email in use alt extension somewhere in the alt extension file. So that's it. So and then now, we trying to await. I created this old service.firebase.current user. So let's go look out service.firebase.current user. In the firebase.auth, where is the current user? Oh, where is the user? Okay, I think this is the best one here since we are using the register. So the create user, we're going to the try await firebase.instance.create user with email and password. Then our email is equal to email, or password is equal to password. So this makes a lot of sense. When you're creating a user, just run this, and if the user is equal to null, return user, else true user not log in, exception. I already created an exception also. On Firebase on auto exception, catch E. So I mean, I don't know if a beginner is watching my video, you cannot understand a lot. But I'm just trying to, if it is being watched by maybe intermediary or something who already started and trying to learn more, I think they will make, I mean, they will make a lot of, they will take a lot outside of this code. So we yeah, let's go back to the registered start. So after creating that, on email already use auto extension, I will catch error. I mean, the teacher that taught me use E something like this, but personally, I would just love to use ERR. You know, I may not need this here though, but I can just use this thing since I don't need it. But I will personally use the ERR short form of L since I may need it in future. So you can see the exception variable isn't used, so the catch clause can be removed. Try removing the catch clause, but I may need it in future, so I'll just leave it like that since I may need it in future. I think I explained my register that screen. I wish I can run this. I wish I can run this code for you all to see, but my my editor, I mean my screen recorder, will only screen record my visual code, and the editor is outside of virtual code. So I am afraid it is gonna run. You can see I have a mobile connected. I can run it on mobile, but I don't know if it is gonna show you if I am running it. So I may like to run my code for you all. It's make a lot of sense. It make a lot of sense, but yeah, I check now. It is not showing. I already have my emulator on, but it is not showing. So we're just gonna disconnect it and continue with it. I know maybe next time I may try something. I may try something amazing later. But as I said, that is gonna be later. So let's go to my login view. Oh, I think my login view is not kind of more different than my register view. All everything I think there is, are you not a user? Go register and redirect them back to register. Everything I did are pretty the same. When trying to log in, you just call the login with password and with email and password. This is the function available on Firebase. So I don't know. It is not that kind of hard thing to do. You can see where is the login. So In the login view, I created mainly same thing. You can see, oh, just this is just the thing that will change. I just redirect the back to register root and just call this not a user register now. So it made a lot of sense and not a lot of big change. So like the not view the that. So I've not created a lot of things here. I've not created anything here. So I just created a home view. So this thing will be redirected when the user is logged in. So I have not created. So yeah, I'll be creating some kind of notes and it will be connected to therapies. I'll be using SQLite. Still learning about that, but I know that's something play I will understand very well. So yeah, where we're going to let's look at this home to that. So this home to that like have one of the main information about my application. So I have a lot of information about my application because when the user, let me show you in the main dot that in the main dollar, we have some kind of routes. So the each route is the home route. So when a user comes to to this application or on this application, this is the that file that will be run. So and from this that file, depending on the state of that user, it will load maybe register view or login view or just logged in directly. So I will kind of take some kind of break, maybe a 2 to 5 minute break and come back. So while I'm on break, can you just enjoy this some kind of verse from Nigeria singer Adekunle Gold and Chris Brown, and maybe adding a Davido track or so. Nobody goes down. I know everything I do is nobody else concerned. She will come along. I know I'm the light. Say it. I will your vision. Thank you, Lord, my vision. Beautiful temptation. Thank you, Lord, rotation. Say it. Say it. Shake it, baby, shake it. Oh, welcome, guys. So, yeah, now, so where do we stop? I mean, so this home that has a lot of information. I mean, one of the most important thing on this application. So, I mean, just call. I didn't call it. I didn't call any scars for the. I just called. I, I just created a stateful widget, and instead of returning or running scaffold of anything, I just return a future view dynamically because we will need the initializer. So the future and the builder, we need a switch. Like I think I've said this before. So if user is not null, if the user is not null, it should return the information here. So I mean, inside the user we have another if. So if the user is not known and the email is verified, is the email verified or false? So if the email is the verified, so we return a not view, else return a verified email view. This makes sense. So we have the verified email view. Verified email view is like kind of it. Let me show you here. So the verified email view is just like some kind of application. So here a screen where you can resend your email verification link to your Gmail, to your mail, and maybe go back to home. So if if the user is not known and the user email is verified, so I have this verified created inside the auth, yeah, auth service. So if the email is verified, return not view. If the email is not verified, return email verify view. So this will be returned if the user is not. Now, what if the user is not? Return login view. So if the user is not, it will be redirected. So if this is a new user coming to this application, it will check for this if, the first if statement, if user is not known. So if this condition is not met, so it will just come here directly and return the login view. The login view will take them back here, and from here, if the user is not a new, I mean, if the user is not a new user, they will be able to log in. So this makes a lot of sense. Most people, when they are going into an application, they may be logged out by Firebase automatically or something, or maybe a rule set by me. If they use like this kind of hours without logging in, log them out automatically. So that means they will be returned to the login view. I'll be assuming they have an account with me already and they should log in. So if they are being returned to login and they are not a new user, in the login view, I created a link. I created a text, a gesture detector that said, "Are you a new user? Register." So they will be redirected back to register. And if you ask me, this seems like a very good navigation between the application. So I think I've explained the pages I have created here. I mean, so I think this odds, this odds, creating this odds has given me, in the service, we have some kind of, so this odds has given me a lot of issue creating. So I'll be trying to revise here and try to know what I actually created, because I am actually following the instructor and maybe. So in the auth provider, an abstract class was created, and this abstract class is an auth provider. In the future void, we have an initialize. So why is this initialized? We have this initialize. So future voice initialize. We are using this future voice initialize because we'll be needing a lot of initializer for Firebase. So that's why we need to create this. So I think this makes a lot of sense. So we have an auth user, and I think so. Yeah, this is it. So the auth user was created here. So the auth user was like just knowing if the user is has an email or the email is verified. So auth user should be, I created a final bool. This bool will be like true or false. So the auth user, this dot is email verified. It will require this. It explains it in a way that if you remove this, there will be an error. So you can just click here and create constructor for final field. So it makes sense like that. So there is a factory created an auth user dot from Firebase. User is equal to user, and auth user is user dot email verified. Sincerely, I don't really understand this yet. Maybe I will revise the course or the video, or just move on. I pretty understand every other thing from, I think I understand everything here. Auth service implement auth provider. So let's go back to auth provider. We have the current user. In the auth provider, we have the login. So the login will require a string called email. It also requires a string called password. So we'll be getting it from the text controller we created. So the same thing as create user. I mean, that should be a register or something that should make sense. Well, I use create user already, so I won't change it. The future void, we have the logouts, then we have the send email verification. So you see, the auth provider is just like creating everything we be leading from initializing the current user, the login, the create user, the logout, the verification email. So in the auth service, so in the auth service, so we have, this is the Firebase auth service. We'll be implementing the auth provider. So final provider, auth service dot Firebase, auth service, Firebase, auth provider. So if we need this auth service stuff, we'll be running this Firebase here. So auth service dot this dot provider, we'll be needing provider at override auth user, get current user, and return provider dot current user. So we are saying we can call out provider by using this provider word. So we'll be using this provider to get current user from out provider. Definitely the same thing as the create user dot create user, the login dot login, the logout dot logout, the send email verification, and the feature initialize per provider dot initialize. So the reason we create this auth service is just to be able to call it very well. So the, the every function and actions of it are created in this Firebase auth. So Firebase auth provider implement auth provider, auth override auth user get current user. So if you want to get the current user, this is what we are gonna run. Final user is equal to Firebase auth dot instance dot current user. I think you understand. I understand this. Firebase auth was being called because we call this auth. No, we imported this. Where is this Firebase? Okay, this Firebase auth service. If you're removing it, you'll be having a lot of. I think you didn't have any issue. Wow. So maybe this. No, 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 no. Should have to say. Oh shit. So I imported it two times. So that's why we didn't get any issue. So I'll try to remove it now. So there's some kind of red that is gonna show up like this Firebase auth. Won't be able to call it again. Firebase auth exception. So we won't be able to call them again. So this is the reason we have been able to call them. So Firebase dot or dot instance the current user dot current user. If user, so when we get the current user, if user is not null, return auth user dot from Firebase user, else return null. So that's the current user. If you want to get the current user, user is got to instant current user. When we call the user, we created user here. So how do we get the user? Firebase will go to we search the application or get a current user. We can use it by calling Firebase auth dot instance dot current. This will get the logged in user or the registered user. So if the user is not, that means that person was registered already. So return auth user dot from Firebase user. So we will get the user here, else return null. That means the user is null. So create user. Maybe when you are registering, you can just try. You use the try await. So await. So since it is feature, maybe you don't need to use all this async or something. So await feature variables dot create user. I understand this very well also, and you should too. So after doing that, return user is not null. If user is not null, return user. So we can call, we already created the current user, so we can call it here. Final user is equal to current user. If user is not done, return user. Else, return user not logged in. Auth exception. On file auth exception, catch E. So if E code is got a weak password, I have some kind of thing there. If email is already used, I have if email is invalid. So else throw generic auto exception like this exemption are out of this. So in the login, we need the email, we need the password. So we use the accent, we use the try from the sign in with email and so we should use since we are using await here, I think we should use the async keyword here. Wow, what happened? Maybe I can use it here. Just trying things. So let's leave it like that. So we shouldn't create any error for now. I don't have time to, to search for error. So sign in with the email and password. Email, password, password. Final user is called a current user. If user is not null, return user else logged in. So I mean wrong password and everything like that. So the logged out is an easy thing. So if user is not null, await, you know, before we can be able to log out, we need a user. So I mean this doesn't make sense. I can just call it direct instead of trying from Firebase directly. I think we can use this. Wow, why can't we use it? Wait, I'm coming. Oh shit. I won't be changing it because I have used this name. It is not correct, but I am not changing it because it will cause me a lot of refactoring. Yes, we can just use it directly and it will work. So that's it. If user is the current user, if user is not null, await user dot install dot sign out. You sign out and else true. I mean, it makes sense. So the send email verification, it is easy. What I should change all this. It doesn't mean I should be coding it directly. Just use the files. Maybe I shouldn't use it here. I may have some kind of reason I am not using it directly, so I just leave it. It doesn't spoil anything. I mean, well, it should be better if I just can call it directly. So if user is not null, await user to send email verification. That's easy. So else true user not logged in. So if user is not logged in, we won't be able to send. So this is where, we created the auth provider here. We created the auth service. This auth service is just like something that we will be able to, I don't know how to put this. It doesn't make sense like just saying Firebase auth service, Firebase auth provider dot something in our application. So we can just say auth service dot create user, auth service dot initialize, auth service dot Firebase dot something. So I mean it makes sense that way. Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to devise and I think I understand this very well. So moving on, if you are a beginner on Flutter like this, you can see that's how we just try. I started like some month ago being a noob. I don't even know anything here. But since you just gradually, I started understanding some kind of concept, and from here we can understand a lot. We will definitely understand a lot. We just have to keep working our way around it. Just keep working your way around it. Don't stop. Take courses. I mean, don't take a lot of courses. A teacher, just one teacher is enough. After learning from that kind of person, go into real world, apply it into things. I mean, apply for internship if it is possible, build anything, by running into the before even before getting here, I ran into a lot of debugging issue. I will just go online and spend a lot of days. I mean, just sometimes tired. After getting tired, I stop, come back, and it has been a great journey since then. So I mean, this is it for now. Before going, let's have some kind of Davido and our musician. Before going, just let's keep it up. Keep coding, keep coding. One day it is gonna be, we're gonna make it one day, and you know, just get where we are going. You know we going platinum, platinum. Number one, you know how to take this thing. Legendary stuff, you can take this shit. I feel like I'm a starter, starter. You feel me? Put your hands up, hands up. Oh, oh, they do, they I don't you, they don't know. Electricity, vibes on a frequency, till infinity, steady on a different beat. Life is not that deep, it's all about the energy. You make it my body, body go know everything I do is nobody else concerned. I, so you don't go on. And I see darkness all around me, but I know I'm the light. Shake, shake it, baby, shake. I feel your vibration. I get on my motion. Beautiful temptation. I get on rotation. Shake it, shake it, shake it, baby, shake it. Electricity, mind on the frequency. Infinity, steady on the different beat. Love is very sweet, but first you must get it. Like poverty, now you make it my money. Nobody go sign. And you know everything I do is nobody else concerned. Ah, yeah, yeah. She go come on, I go come on. And I see that this all around me, but I know I do that. Shake it, shake it, shake it, baby, shake it, shake it. I feel your vibration. I get a motion. Beautiful temptation. I get a rotation. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby, shake it. Electricity, vibes on the frequency. Fucking Robitussin. I don't know why this shit got me lazy right now. Yeah. Can't do Percocets on my leg. I'm turning on, trying to live it up. Yeah, right, baby. Yeah, right, yeah. Bring it over to my place. Do it right, baby. Yeah, so I know you. Yeah. Bring it over to my place. You know. Guys, that is it for now. Welcome to my coding journey. I mean, I would like video a lot from now on. I will talk about blog. I mean, I'm like learning blogs next soon. I'll talk about it. And let's share our journey with ourselves. Thank you.